Welcome to 451. We're talking the Championship. Coming up, is Ince better than Zaha? Has Mick McCarthy put his what's it in the bacon slicer? And you're going to be telling us your contenders for Deadwood at your club. But we're going to start with Bolton Wanderers. In February, they were 20th in the league. They're now just 2 points off the playoffs. Dougie Freedman. Dougie Freedman's got them going.
Can I say something?
Please.
It's really strange.
Yeah.
The way he left Palace.
Yeah.
When he had a great young team going.
Yeah.
Good young manager.
They were at the top of the league. Well, certainly close.
Exactly, and they were flying. Everybody was flying, and I found it very, very strange that he left to go to Bolton. And the only thing I could put my finger on it that it could be was, yes, Bolton are a good club, and he most probably got weighed in respects of wages. But I couldn't understand why the chairman of Palace let him go when I'm hearing that Doug was on ridiculous money in respects of wages.
Low money.
Very, very low.
Yeah.
And then you bring in someone like Holloway, who's not going to be like that. I found it was a strange move. It didn't start that well for Dougie. And if I'm going to be totally honest, I played with him at Forest, Marcus, and he did not strike me as somebody that was going to be a good manager. He's very...
Doer.
Very, he's sulky, he's down on himself. Yeah. And I think maybe the way he got the job was quite like someone got to, and they put Dougie in and he had a go at it, and obviously he's taken to it. I was a bit sorry for him at the start of his Bolton tenure. I was thinking this isn't working out for him, but now obviously it is.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's been at Palace, or had been at Palace for years, you know, and he was loved down there. But I heard from Palace fans that, as you say, he was on low money. He wasn't given a good deal. They didn't go after him. It was almost like, well,
it's like they didn't try to keep him. I think.
Exactly.
Fans were really upset about.
I might even use the word disrespectful.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean that is that time of the day. But I think that I don't know what I mean by that. But Freedman. I thought that they did not make him feel wanted there. Yeah. And then Bolton come along and offer him the infrastructure of the club's probably a bit better than Palace. You could argue. Yeah, they were down in the doldrums, but that means there's more potential to take them up there. I thought it was such a shame that he's a Palace man. Freedman.
Well, at the end of the day, you have to look at it, and we don't know. Really, if they offered him, they might have offered him something to keep him there.
Well, true.
But Bolton's offer was obviously better. I think there's a lot of people who are quite pleased that it didn't start that well for him. But then when you consider he's got 22 points from the last 30. Yeah. 7 consecutive wins at home. That's good form. 2 points outside the playoff, and you'd have to say if they get into the playoffs, you'd have to fancy them to a certain extent.
Yeah, it would be remarkable if he can get them up.
Palace kind of going the other way.
That's right. Yeah. Well, again, if you've got any thoughts on Dougie Freedman at Palace, then do comment below or tweet us at @ball_streets. It's time to tell it like it is, damn it all. Often pundits sit on the fence, see both sides of the debate. We're not going to do that now. We're going to give an opinion one way or the other.
Absolutely right.
So then, let's start off. Paul Ince or Wilfried Zaha? Who's the better player? Paul Ince? Tom Ince?
Tom Ince. I was going to say Paul weren't a bad player.
He wasn't a bad player.
Tom, let me see. Let's look at the stats. Ince, 37 appearances, Zaha 38. Zaha 6 goals, Ince 18.
Not more.
Ince 12 assists, Zaha 8.
But yet Zaha's the one with the big move to Manchester United.
Well, Tom Ince has got a move imminent. There's an imminent move. So something's going to happen with him.
For 25 million, according to his father.
To his dad. His dad's, it's a definite dad moment for Tom Ince again.
That's unlike Paul Ince to spout off about something.
Well, it's one of those, like I said, he's moved in with him. He's
He's moved in with him?
Yeah, he's moved into his flat.
Well, he's his son.
Yeah, but he's moving to his flat. He's staying with Tom.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't know that?
I smell a sitcom.
Well, like I say, it's one of those where did Tom Ince have really any choice? His dad's coming to stay there. But anyway, if we're going to talk about the both of them, yes, Zaha, and Palace fans have been saying that he's kind of gone off the boil. Can you imagine being a young player, you're playing for Palace, it's going really well for you, you got into the England under-21, all of a sudden you're bought by Man United and loaned back to Palace. That has got to have some effect on you somewhere. Now, you'd like to think that he's got the kind of professionalism where he's going to try and play as well as he can, but somewhere along the line you've got to be affected.
Yeah, well, and I think also though that with Zaha, he was probably given that England call-up because they were worried he might go for the Ivory Coast.
You think?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I think he's a good player, and I think he potential to be an England player in the future, but I wouldn't be surprised if the FA just had a little word in Hodgson's ear and said, make sure you give him a call up so we can get hold of him. But
what do you think?
I think I would have Ince actually.
I think I'd go with Ince as well.
Would you?
I think I would go with Ince, and I think you have to look at the fact that he's got that move you have to. We're talking about Manchester United.
We are.
And he's going to have to go into a dressing room with legends in the game.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to really lift his game because since the move, it hasn't quite happened for him. And hopefully it's just because of the effect that that's had on him now. But hopefully he will be able to actually kick on because it will be a shame if he doesn't.
Who do you think would be a better housemate, Paul or Tom Ince?
I think Paul Ince, we roomed together for about 10 years.
Oh, well, then you...
Brilliant roommate.
Yeah?
Great roommate.
Okay, I'll go for Tom. Who would you... All right, let's move on to some more questions. Who would you prefer to manage, Leicester or Leeds?
Leeds. See that? Never even thought about it.
Yeah.
I think as well because Leicester, when Mark Wright was younger at Leicester, when Mark Wright came to Palace, he used to tell me about the stories about Leicester and how he used to get stick. He even used to get booed in the reserves. People would bring their kids to practice booing on him in the reserves. So it was just in case he was warming up on a Saturday in the full squad. And I just, for some reason, I've always had something against Leicester in that respect.
Right.
But I think Leeds are a bigger club, and I think with the right funding and the right manager, you know what I mean, the catchment of the Leeds area and everything like that, I feel that Leeds will be a massive club to
Okay, so you had thought about it, clearly.
Well, to be honest, no, it's just flowed in and it's just gushed out.
Well, that was lucky while we were filming.
Exactly.
I'll go for Leicester because I think that you wouldn't have so much pressure on you.
Oh, so you're wimping out?
Well, all right. You've caught me out there. Fair enough.
You know, just thrown it in.
You wouldn't have so much pressure. You could make the club a bit more your own. I think you'd have a bit more freedom.
What about the pressure you get because you've got the money in now and they're expecting
the pressure will cut. Look, it would be my first job, to be fair. David Nugent up front.
Yeah, but
I could make the Nuge back into the England fold, I reckon. Yeah. Nah. And if it was good enough for Sven, it's good enough for me.
No. I think that you're kind of trying to convince yourself, Leicester. You've got to be.
Well, just to be contradictory.
Got to be Leeds.
Okay. Well, let's move on. Jordan Rhodes or Charlie Austin? Who would you prefer?
I've seen quite a bit of Jordan Rhodes. I haven't seen too much of Charlie Austin, but he's obviously scores goals. Yeah.
Well, they're both scoring.
Good rate. Jordan Rhodes to me seems to every level he's gone to the next level and he's continued to score and he's scoring goals at Blackburn as well. I'd love to see him in the Premiership. The problem I think he'll have is that he seems to me, what I've seen of him, somebody that needs good service to him. And if you stop the service to him, I'm not sure how many goals he would get on his own. So, but I think I'd go with him.
He's not a score a goal out of nothing Ian Wright kind of striker, is he?
He's not really that,
Venky's or Carsten Young?
None of them.
I'd choose Venky's.
Well, to be honest, the pair of them, everything was wrong about people buying.
Well, let me.
Ain't got a clue what they're doing.
Well, hang on, let me explain. Let me say, because I'm saying Venky's because they need someone to manage them who knows a little bit about football, and I'd like to suggest that.
Yeah, but can I say they need someone to manage who knows about football? But the fact is, what do they know about football? They've got their manager out there now. What is it with them taking everybody to India every minute?
And also,
it needs to be here.
All right, Ian, let me try and strike a chord with you. Also, I mean, if I was in with Venky's now, you know, they're big on chicken. So if I was in with the Venky's lot now, I mean, if I wanted to, I could have chicken tonight.
Oh, is that where you're going? Oh, is that where you're going?
I could, you know.
Is that because I've done it too slow at the start? You just got me back now?
If I like chicken tonight, then I could have chicken tonight if I wanted chicken tonight.
I'll get the beast in here and I'll ram some chicken tonight in your mouth if you want chicken that badly.
One of your better moments.
Can I say in respects of the Venky's and Carsten Young?
Yeah.
Both of them, like I say, bad for the game.
Yeah.
The Venky's don't know what they're doing, just like Carsten Young is not an ideal owner. Let's just leave it there.
Yeah. That's it. Finish.
Okay, we asked you on Twitter, who's deadwood at your club? Who do you want out of your club? Who's not doing it? Who's not pulling their weight?
Was this with a hashtag do one, son?
Who do you want to do one, son? Okay, didn't let us down. At Terrier 1987, Gaz Uddersfield says, Peter Clark, not good enough for the championship and lacks the leadership qualities needed to be our captain. Once his captain gone.
They're in trouble, Huddersfield. They're in trouble. At Andrew 8 Harrison, he says Wilfried Zaha. Well, he's going soon, so don't worry about it. He's obviously Manchester United loan back. He doesn't have the effort to win anymore.
To be honest, this is the problem that he was always going to have. Going to Man United, getting loaned back to Palace, Palace fans instantly be looking to see if he's going to have the same intensity. And to be honest, it's not happened for him. And you have to say that worries me in respect of going to a club like Man United and being able to perform at the level he's got to perform at with the players he's going to be playing with. You know what I mean? I think
it'd be interesting to see.
It's an interesting one. Okay, what we got here at Stony Boyo, Richard Foster at Bristol City, overplayed by a very Scottish manager. How can you be very Scottish? Overplayed by a very Scottish manager, terrible right back who can't tackle or cross. Very Scottish.
He's convinced me.
Very Scottish.
At T Johnson 93, Blackpool fan. I think he's gone for the owners, the Oystons. 4 managers, 3 stands, 2 members of staff, 1 goalkeeper, and no pitch, no training ground, and no ambition.
Okay.
I can't argue with that. I like this next tweet, Ian.
Next one from Rick JD. Should we say it's just Venky's ha 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 ha. That's the best I could do to ha.
Yeah, I like that.
And he's just laughing.
Yeah, maybe he meant to say Zaha ha 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 ha. Okay, I've got one here at Finley W13. He said, Birmingham City, let's finally get rid of Young and his incompetent pals who are ruining our club.
Feel the love.
Feel that love.
Sorry.
Please comment below or tweet at ball_street.
Actually, I'll put Feel the Love again just because I could.
Mick McCarthy says if he can keep Ipswich Town up this season, it will be the biggest achievement of his career.
Building his part.
Would you agree with that?
Well, to be honest, I think that a manager has to say something like that because he's making people know, oh my God, this was such a difficult job when I took it over.
Yeah.
It's like I was listening to...
Is he after a pay increase?
I don't know, but like, you know what I mean? I do love Mick, but it's like Harry the other day saying, you know, I don't know what to do anymore. You know, the loan signings have come in and done brilliantly. You know what I mean? So he's saying, like, you know what I mean? These guys have done all right, but it's the guys before that have caused him the problem. Now, the thing with what I see with this, with Mick McCarthy, is for me, he's kind of letting people know that it was such a difficult job because like they were odds on to go down when he took over. You know, so...
well, they were, without a winning 11 when Paul Jewell was sacked.
So it was a massive job. But you know what? Mick's done well. I thought he got Arsenal treated by Wolves, but I'm not sure what more he could have done at Wolves. I think Ipswich is a good project.
Well, he took Wolves up, I mean, I would have thought maybe that was one of his greatest achievements. Or taking Ireland to the World Cup, getting the second round, only put out on penalties by Spain.
Spain, yeah. They got
not Spurs, Spain. Yeah.
Spain, yeah. I didn't say Spurs. And even if I was going to say something, why would I say Spurs? Honestly,
because it sounds a bit like Spain.
Well, it didn't.
But do you think it would be his greatest achievements keeping Ipswich up?
To be honest, I think. You know, I don't know. Is it a big achievement to keep somebody from relegation?
Well, next season will be even harder if he keeps them up. The wage, the transfer budget has been slashed.
Yeah.
You know, by the league position, he won't have not have the greatest squad in the world if they're down there now. So maybe next season, if he keeps them up, will be his greatest achievement.
Well, to be honest, like when you go into a club like that with all the problems they've got, and they're quite a big club in respect of
they
name,
are.
You know what I mean? And they've got a history in that. So there's a lot of expectation down there, and you know what I mean? I think he's done pretty well.
Yeah, he's done.
But we don't know what he's dealing with in respect of his, like you say, we see his budget's been slashed and the money's that's been taken from him. So it's one of those it could be in respect of him getting his managerial stuff going down. It could be a massive achievement for him. To actually achieve what he's doing with what he's got. Yeah,
we've got a couple of thoughts from some of the fans who've tweeted us in. They've said they need to add some players, in particular a striker, find a permanent number one. They've had 7 keepers in the last 3 seasons. And they've also said, well, next season be an even bigger achievement if he keeps them up. But the trouble is, if the transfer budget is slashed in half, then they're in trouble. But
that's exactly right.
But we've got to say thanks to Ipswich Town fans, Dean Eddyshaw, at Go Dean Go. At Ipswich Town fans and at Radioactive Cod. So thank you very much for your input there.
On to the predictions. Huge games in the Championship. First one, Wolves Huddersfield. Who are you going for?
Wolves.
You're going for Wolves.
Yes, on the up. Dean Saunders has got them.
And Huddersfield are not really doing anything, are they?
I don't. Yeah. Well, they're both struggling. But the gut says Wolves. 2-0 Wolves.
I'm going Wolves because Matt, our man here, supports Huddersfield, and I just want him sad. I want them to.
That's it.
I just want something to happen to Huddersfield.
He deserves to be sad. Is that what you're saying?
And because they beat MK Dons in the in the playoffs last year, and
Damn
they came
them.
up, and then they sold Jordan Rhodes, and I went, ha ha ha, good, they'll come down next year. So for Matt's sake, I hope it doesn't work out for Huddersfield. So I'm going for Wolves.
Yeah. It's Blackburn versus Derby. Who do you fancy for that one?
Derby.
Why is that?
Is
Blackburn not very good?
No, I just feel that Derby, they've won 3 out of their last 4.
Yeah.
I just think they're having a little good run.
Blackburn haven't won since they beat Arsenal in the FA Cup in February. And for that reason, I think they're going to win, because they're due a win.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. And also, Gary Bowyer, he's away in India, isn't he, to meet the owners?
Brilliant. Just when the team needs him most. Good stuff, Frankies. Well done. Get your manager out there when he's needed here.
I think Blackburn...
What score are you going
5-4.
for? Why are you going for such a... Weird.
You'll see.
Okay. I'm going to go 3-2 Derby.
Okay.
Yeah?
It's a high scorer, that's what we're saying.
High scorer,
that's what we're saying. Last one, Peterborough v Watford.
Yes.
Peterborough, they did beat Cardiff recently.
So they can beat the top teams.
They can beat the top
Watford,
teams.
Watford are
going very well, though.
3 points off second, automatic. So I'm going to go for Watford. I'm going to go Watford 2-1.
Yeah, I'm going to go Watford a slight win. I think 1-0.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll nick it.
I just think they got more goals in them.
They do have more goals.
You know what I mean?
Vidra.
Yeah.
We spoke about him before. So there you go. Wolves, Blackburn, Watford for me.
Okay.
And Wolves, Derby, Watford for you.
Yeah.